right, so today is going to be part 3, the final part, because we have the test tomorrow. This is the review, and I'm showing you many, many different options of development. So basically, we're talking about opening schemes. And remember the 3 principles of what a good opening is. It affects the center. Plop, 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 fish. And you're getting your king safe. You're castling. And what's the third one? Come on, somebody. Okay, so getting your king safe, controlling the center. What's the third one?
Develop your...
Knights and bishops. Very, very good. All right, so there are a number of different ways to develop. So for instance, I like structural orientation, meaning we can get the same type of stuff most of the time. The first one we looked at was the Queen's Gambit. Where we did that, we want to maintain a pawn in the center. We get our B out, he defends. And this is one that you guys have been learning this week. We want to get our bishop out, so we do that. Catassel, and this is a complete opening. And to go back through a little bit slower, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it's the one we have written on the board right now. And that's our first one. So, okay, this is one scheme. So then we talked about the Indian defenses, and we start with a knight, and say both sides can even do this. We make the TP, and we build a house to live in it. We put the bishop inside the house, not outside the house. We both castle very quick. So already, if you're doing this, you got 1/3 of your points for the test. And you did it in 4 moves. Then next, we're supposed to have a pawn in the center, so white's going to put his pawn in there straight away. Black's going to wait a minute. So then, we're going to keep developing. And right here, we both have pawns in the middle. And this bishop will get out soon, probably here. And this bishop's going to wait a while to get out because we don't want to force it. Because sometimes if you make a move like that, the knight doesn't belong there and you lose a pawn. But this is the King's Indian defense. This is another one. The first one was the Queen's Gambit. Now, let's go to some other structures that aren't as popular. All right, so how about de bird? De bird. 1 F4 is de bird. All right, so I'm going to go with, let's say C5 on this one. Both sides are attacking the center by flanking. Okay. And let's do that. And we have ourselves some development going on. And we can see that what black is doing is what white was doing in the last position. Because there's a lot of overlap in chess. And we're going to want to, oh, that's a blunder. We'll do that to get our queen over here for fast attacks. And then we'll worry about developing the knight and bishop later. So you could also do this one colors reversed. Now, the most popular thing that people typically start with is E4. I don't normally recommend it for students because there's a lot of ways to lose quickly. So let me flip it around and give you a perspective. Remember when we talked about the 4-move checkmate stuff, where it's like A5, and if you mess around, you can lose really quick? E4 is aggressive because they're constantly attacking you. So I'll come back to this in a second, but let me show you, for instance, the Tirage. The Tirage looks like this, and it's very similar to what we looked at before, except black plays C5 straight away. Now takes. And there are videos on the Tirage, and it looks like this. Our bishop's going to get out probably to G4 next move, and we're good to go. Now let's come back to this E4 and show you the difference between this for black and if we play E6. So he goes D4, D5, and now E5. Now white has some extra space, and normally when we're developing, we want this knight on F6. But there's a pretty distinct problem with putting the knight on F6 right now. It would be free, right? So we have to figure out another way to develop. So what black does, anytime there's a chain in chess, we look to break the chain. Now, I don't want to push this pawn because it opens up my king. We talked about that, right? So I'm going to push this pawn. So if he takes, it makes the chain weaker. Well, he defends the chain. Well, I'm going to attack the chain. He defends the chain. And we talked about don't bring your queen out early, but in this case, it's don't bring your queen out early if she can be attacked. She can't be attacked. So, typically they do something like this. We move our bishop. They double attack. And now, at this point, we want to develop our pieces. Now, this knight goes here, and then here, and then look at that. We found a great square with this knight, whoop, this knight, and the queen are all attacking there. Now, when we get our bishop out, we're ready to castle, and both sides completed development. There's a lot of different ways to develop in chess. Another one, another lever opening, is a Caro-Kann. And again, if he closes, we get our bishop outside the chain before doing it. And again, this knight needs a good square. So typically, he's going to end up over here. So we do this, and then say here, here, here. And again, we're going to castle and get developed. Notice the pattern in all of these. Sometimes you have problems to deal with in order to get developed. But in almost all of these cases, it's 10 moves or less. So on the test tomorrow, the way you're going to be evaluated is each move is 10 points. If it's a move that is assisting you with castling, getting your pieces developed, and following the principles that we've worked on, you're getting credit. If it is a move that doesn't make sense to any of those goals, you lose points on it. Make sense? All right. Now, yeah, you can go. So, last but not least, if you play symmetrically, I do not recommend this to start out because there are many really aggressive variations where you need to know what you're doing very well with black, otherwise you'll lose quickly. So I highly recommend starting with e6 or c6 on your first move with black and following up the next move with d5. You will get better games to start with because keep in mind, especially the viewers, that classical chess recommends playing this way. And almost all the books recommend starting out in this method. But after being a classroom teacher since 2014 and teaching chess to over 5,000 people, I'll say that this makes more students who did not have interest in already tournament competitors and are going to continue to compete quit because they lose games quickly and they lose interest because when somebody's not good at something, what do they typically do? Yeah, they stop because, there's plenty of other things we can do in life. But the way I'm recommending you guys play would say the French defense, and if you look up Palm Beach Chess French defense, you will find I covered the entire opening. Yeah, question? Yeah, absolutely. So the main thing that I'm looking for, not everybody will be a tournament player that's in this class. I'm not expecting that. But if you want to be, you now have the tools in the opening phase of the game to be able to go in, and any of these that I gave a name for, there's a video already made that's more complex on the Palm Beach Chess page. So, that's it. Full circle. Enjoy!